What really makes a home strong? I mean, truly resilient, a place where people actually flourish, not just exist.
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it the stuff we own, the bricks and mortar? Or is it something, deeper, like a sort of spiritual, emotional bedrock for the family?
Exactly. And that's really what we're diving into today.
Right. This deep dive is called Building Our Homes on the Bedrock of Inward Beauty.
Sounds profound.
It is. And our thinking today, it comes from a really interesting sermon outline. It's by Pastor Dr. W.F. Kumuyi, delivered at the Global Family and Marriage Conference in Lagos, Nigeria, back on August 29, 2025. It's like a blueprint, really.
A blueprint for family strength.
Yeah.
Got it. And is there a specific scripture kind of anchoring this?
There is, yes. It's central to the whole message.
Okay.
It's 1 Peter 3.4. The source uses this as the foundation.
Right. 1 Peter 3.4. Let me think. But let it be the hidden man of the heart?
Exactly. In that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of great price. Of great price. That definitely sets a high value on inner qualities.
It really does. So our mission here today is to unpack the ideas from this source, about how God set up marriage, family.
And how certain qualities can lead to families that the pastor calls happy, holy, and progressive.
Precisely. It's all about building from the inside out, creating this ripple effect through the whole home.
Okay, so how are we going to break this down?
Good question. We'll look at three main areas based on the outline.
Right.
First, the inner beauty of a virtuous wife. Then the internal backbone of a vibrant husband.
Inner beauty, internal backbone. Got it.
And the third.
And finally, this really intriguing idea, the inside bank of a visionary home.
An inside bank. Okay, that sounds interesting. We'll definitely need to unpack that one.
It will. According to the source, all three are crucial for, a thriving family.
Makes sense. A partnership.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with that first section. The inner beauty of a virtuous wife. The source is clear. This beauty isn't just skin deep. It radiates from inside out. Empowered by God's grace, it says.
So it's an inner quality that makes her a virtuous wife and homemaker. Not just actions, but character.
Exactly. And one key aspect is what the source calls a winsome character.
Winsome, meaning?
Well, the idea is that this character helps her win over even difficult husbands, maybe unbelieving ones.
Like 1 Peter 3.1-2 suggests, without the word. Through conduct.
Right, through her genuine conduct, her appeal, not through arguing.
That's quite a thought. So a winsome woman might attract a, say, tough and tyrannical husband instead of fighting fire with fire.
That's the idea presented. By purposefully pleasing him, how does the source kind of explain that working?
Well, it frames it not as weakness, but as spiritual strength. It connects to Romans 15.13.
Okay.
The perspective there is that the wife is actually strong by the grace of God to bear the infirmities of her weak husband.
So it's inner resilience, not physical strength.
Precisely. A kind of steadfastness that helps uplift the whole household rather than getting pulled down.
Okay, so beyond character, what about appearance? The source mentions compatible outward cleanliness.
Right. It talks about balance, being moderate in her appearance, but importantly, clean and presentable to her husband.
It seems to be about respect within the marriage.
Exactly. And interestingly, the source uses Revelation 21.2 metaphorically here.
The New Jerusalem as a bride, how does that fit?
Well, Pastor Kumuyi interprets it to mean a Christian woman's adornment. Her whole presentation should primarily be for her husband, reflecting inner care, not seeking worldly validation.
So aligning outward appearance with inner commitment, not being deliberately ugly and unkempt, as it says.
Precisely. And that brings us right back to the core idea.
The meek and quiet spirit, from 1 Peter 3.4 again.
Yes, called the ornament, which is in the sight of God of great price. It's presented as an active spiritual quality.
An adornment.
Yeah. And the source really hammers this home. The state of your heart will always reflect in your actions.
So inner stillness, humility, they aren't passive. They actually shape everything else.
They're the source from which grace flows outwards, benefiting the family.
Yeah.
Then there's a trusting disposition. The source says a virtuous woman will not act in any way to betray God's trust and that of her husband. Sounds like loyalty, but what's the deeper angle?
It goes beyond just not betraying. Think about Sarah from Hebrews 11.11.
Abraham's wife.
Right. She received strength to conceive seed because she judged him faithful who had promised, even when she was way past age.
Wow. So trust isn't just loyalty, it's this active faith in faithfulness even when things look impossible.
Exactly. And that kind of faith actually empowers the family. It brings strength where maybe human effort alone wouldn't be enough.
That really drives home the point made in the source. Family blessings do not come by fighting.
Right. Instead, the virtuous woman speaks to her husband like an angel. It suggests a gentler, faith-filled way.
Which leads naturally into submissive conduct. Yes, referencing 1 Peter 3 again about subjection unto their own husbands. The source stresses this is a spiritual posture, not weakness.
And it uses Sarah again, right? Obeying Abraham, calling him Lord.
It does. And the outline emphasizes maintaining that submissive language and respect even when you are unhappy.
Adding that key line, being unhappy should not make us unholy.
That's a powerful distinction. Choosing right conduct over fleeting feelings.
Definitely, and this ties into the next point, a respecting tongue.
Crucial, the language used. The source says she should speak to, about, for, and behind her husband always with the language of respect.
Building him up in all contexts.
And the consequences are laid out pretty starkly using Proverbs 12.4.
Ah, yes. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that maketh ashamed is as rottenness in his bones.
Huge difference, isn't it? A crown versus decay. Words have power.
Immense power.
So the virtuous woman, according to the outline, knows how to talk, what to say, and to quench the fire of strife with her words.
Using her tongue as a repairing tool.
Exactly. Through soft answers, like Proverbs 15 suggests, leading to that lovely idea. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, bringing vitality.
Okay. And wrapping up this section on the wife, helpful support.
Yes. Described as support that helps the husband to have their prayers answered, referencing 1 Peter 3.7. Her partnership is vital. Spiritually.
Wow.
And Proverbs 31.12 sums it up. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. The outline mentions that a whole chapter details this kind of support.
That's a really rich picture of the wife's inner contribution. But like you said, it's a partnership.
Right.
So I'm really interested in this next part, the internal backbone of a vibrant husband. What does that look like?
Well, the source describes someone who stands straight and firm to defend and uphold his family.
Strong, but not a tyrant.
Exactly. Complimenting his wife, secure, respectful. It points back to 1 Peter 3.7 again.
And one key aspect seems to be repairing broken relationships.
Yes, this is interesting. It uses the example of Abimelech and Abraham from Genesis 20.
Oh.
The point made is that Abimelech's failure to promptly fix things would have affected his entire family's growth.
So a husband's willingness to humble himself and mend fences directly impacts the family's progress. Stops stagnation.
That's the idea. It prevents bigger problems down the line. It fosters reconciliation.
It reinforces that line. A man with inner strength will not delay in repairing broken relationships. Takes humility.
It really does. And speaking of inner strength and effort, persevering in prayer.
Ah, the story of Isaac and Rebekah.
Yes. Genesis 25. He prayed for her barrenness for, what, 20 years?
20 years, that's perseverance.
And the source highlights that he prayed until they got the breakthrough, crucially, without trading blame. Just steadfast faith.
A powerful example of commitment.
Then there's an aspect of leadership, moderating vows.
From Numbers 30, the husband's role regarding his wife's vows.
Right. The source presents this not as control, but as responsible guidance, ensuring promises align with God's revealed will and purpose, like a spiritual check and balance.
Providing a safeguard. Okay.
The outline also mentions faith and foresight in raising families.
Using Jeremiah 29. About trusting kids to marry and raise families so the church is not diminished.
Exactly. It's a vision for spiritual continuity, looking beyond the immediate generation.
A long-term perspective. Now a very tangible role. Providing for family.
Absolutely core. 1 Timothy 5.7-8. A husband finds legitimate ways to provide and will endure hardships to do so.
And the language there is really strong, isn't it?
Extremely. If any provide not for his own, he has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel.
Wow. The source clearly presents provide not just as a social duty, but a profound spiritual one.
Failure is seen as denying the faith itself. Serious consequences.
And linked to that commitment is fidelity to wife.
Yes, using 1 Corinthians 7.1, a married man should concentrate on his own wife, avoid lustful desires elsewhere, undivided devotion.
And the source gives specific reasons why this is so important.
It does, to avoid loneliness, insecurity, depression, backsliding, and perdition.
Perdition, again, that word really stands out. Eternal ruin.
It does. It frames faithfulness as deeply protective, crucial for the holistic well-being, emotional, mental, spiritual both partners.
Okay. So we have the inner beauty of the wife, the internal backbone of the husband. How does this all come together for the family unit?
This brings us to that third concept you mentioned.
The inside bank of a visionary home. I love that analogy.
Me too. It's quite vivid. Think about how a bank works. Deposits, withdrawals.
Right.
The source explains the family operates like this. When you're together, you make deposits of love, faith, joy, support, positive attitude, intimacy, and hope.
Okay, emotional and spiritual capital.
Exactly. Then, when you're apart, maybe for work or facing difficulties, you make withdrawals from that reserve.
So those deposits sustain you during tough times or separation?
Precisely. They help you face challenges until you can get back together and replenish the bank.
And the scripture anchoring this part, Proverbs 29.18.
Where there is no vision, the people perish.
And the source says it plainly. People without vision are easily overcome by hardships and problems.
Makes sense. Without a clear direction, it's hard to navigate storms.
So what kind of visionary for the household are we talking about?
Well, the outline uses Abraham again. His vision for an heir from Genesis 15. Despite all odds, he held on to that clear, divine purpose for his family's future.
Active faith in a vision.
Right. And that really turns the question to you, listening right now. What vision do you have for your family?
Or are you just, living day to day without that intentional direction? A challenging thought.
Definitely. And part of that vision is a vision of hope.
Abraham again, from Romans 4.
Yes. Believing against hope, having hope when there was no natural reason for it. He wasn't weak in faith, didn't let age make him waver, staggered not through unbelief.
So a strong family actively cultivates that unshakable belief in a positive future.
Regardless of the present circumstances. Then there's a vision of health.
Using Acts 27, take some meat. This is for your health.
Right. The source applies this broadly, pursuing holistic well-being. Spiritual, emotional, physical, they're all connected.
Okay. And of course, a vision of happiness.
Crucial. The source says everyone contributes, quoting Proverbs 17.22.
A merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones.
So happiness isn't passive. It's a collective effort, a vital deposit in that family bank.
Makes sense. And circling back to 1 Peter 3.7 again, a vision of honor.
Honoring spouses. And the point made is that honor begins at home. Mutual respect, valuing each other.
Recognizing each person's contribution.
And closely linked is the vision of helpfulness.
From Ecclesiastes, two are better than one.
Because if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. The power of partnerships, supporting each other, especially when things are tough.
And the source connects this right back to the beginning, Genesis 2.
Yes. It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. Marriage designed for mutual support.
That helpfulness is built in. Okay, and the final piece of the vision.
A vision of holiness. Using 1 Timothy 2.15, the takeaway is, your presence in the family should contribute to the holiness of that family.
Wow. Each person actively lifting the spiritual atmosphere.
It's a high calling for every member.
What a deep dive this has been. Building strong homes from the inside out. Pastor 𝐭𝐲's focus on inward beauty, internal backbone, and this idea of a visionary home as an inside bank. It's really comprehensive.
It really is. And while these principles come from Scripture, Pastor 𝐭𝐲 presents them as, practical guidance for families aiming to be happy, holy, and progressive.
A timeless path starting deep within us.
Absolutely. It offers real substance for building lasting strength.
So maybe the final thought for you listening is this. If, as the source says, the state of your heart will always reflect in your actions, what kind of reflection are you actively cultivating for your home?
Yeah. And what kind of deposits are you making into that family bank for its future? Something powerful to consider.
Definitely something to think about. Until next time.